Hi Ray, great to see you yesterday and spend some time out on the golf course. Just to recap on the information that we gathered on the day. First of all, if we look at your long game, from a much better setup position here on the top left where the ball's been moved back in the stance slightly, we start to see where one of the main problems arises. We do cut across the ball quite substantially. I'm just going to put a little line on your left hip there for you. This is part of the area that we need to work on. We need to gain a better understanding of what dictates the flight of the golf ball and what controls the direction of your golf shots. And then we also need to gain a better understanding and a better ability to control the body to achieve the characteristics we want at impact. We can see here as you start your downswing, your left hip tends to just rotate behind that line all the time. There's not a great deal of forward movement in your hips. This is something that we're going to have to work on. Because there isn't a lot of forward movement in the hips, what tends to happen is here in the downswing you can see that as you start down and clear those left hips without any lateral movement whatsoever, the arms and the club are flung out in front of you. The golf club is now in a very outside the line position and will continue to slide across the ball to the left. As we discussed during your lesson, it's the path of the club that largely dictates the spin that's on the golf ball. Swing to the left, the ball's going to curve to the right. So that's something that we're going to have to work on throughout the winter months and utilising the lessons that you've booked to the best of your abilities. In regards to your short game, we can see here again that we have adjusted your ball position. Your ball position tended to creep forward with everything. However, as we come back, that's a nice technique at that point. As we come through, there's an attempt to lift this ball. You can see though the club head lifts very quickly. The handle of the golf club is no longer moving forward at that point, it's now moving up, and as a result you can see that left wrist collapsing. Whenever you see a player doing that, the tendency is to hit the ground behind the ball or scull the ball across the green. Certainly not going to chip consistently. Then when we look at in a bunker, we saw that the ball position actually moves back in your stance, which is contradictory to what we're trying to do. We're trying to hit the ground before the ball when we're in a bunker. So that would suggest that the ball should be more forward in the stance. However, you can see here, weight goes forward, ball goes back. Now you've made it very difficult to actually hit the ground behind the golf ball unless you manipulate a lot during the swing itself, which on this occasion you do. You fall back too much, striking the sand a little bit too far behind the ball. So we're relying a lot on compensations throughout your game in order to get the job done. What I suggest we do largely to improve your scores very, very quickly is improve your ability from 110 yards and in. That was what I would suggest would be your first lesson out of your programme. On the back of that, we can start to work a little bit more on controlling your ball flight, and I think a realistic goal initially is to become less of a fader of the golf ball. As long as you can understand how to produce a draw shot when required, that's going to assist you dramatically in reducing the amount of cut that you put on the golf ball at this present moment. As I suggested, I think if you watch Steve Hodgkinson's lesson on YouTube, the first chance you get, work a little bit on your rhythm between now and when we get together next, and as I suggested, I think the first session definitely needs to be from 110 yards and in. Good luck with it, speak to you again soon, have a lovely holiday, and I look forward to working with you in the very near future.